the Grind 329 by Lonza podcast on YouTube and Instagram. Type in that Beats by Lonza.
All right. What's up, peace. Welcome to the Grind 329 podcast. I'm your man, Lonza. I'm your host. And welcome to this new episode. And this is a special episode I got for y'all, man. This is the Menscast. And on this episode, I have 5 people. And you're missing one on the screen right now. It's going to be coming to the podcast a little bit later on in the podcast. But I have 5 of the greatest men that I know on this earth. Now, we all got some history. We go way back. Y'all may not understand the history that we have, but we all have this thing in common where we are all prior service Marines. And in my journey in life, I met these brothers in different places, and to this day, we have stuck to be like glue. And these are the guys that I call anytime that I need to get advice on anything, or I need to just blow off some steam, or let them just talk to people. These are the guys that I trust with my deepest and darkest secrets. So what I'd like for you all to do is give them a round of applause. I want to thank y'all brothers for being here tonight. I appreciate y'all.
No problem.
All right, so we're gonna go in the order of who I've known the longest. So starting in the number 1 spot, we got my man Mac. I met Mac in Okinawa, Japan, on my first duty station. He's gonna be to your top. You see him with that nice Zilla sweater on. Met him in Okinawa, Japan. He taught me about Tupac. He taught me about Thug Passion. We used to drink Thug Passion. And had me looking crazy when I went back home because I was showing people how to freak Black and Miles. And he taught me how to freak Black and Miles. So, yes, he is the oldest friend on this podcast, man. We used to run around, get in trouble. He used to keep me out of trouble. He says I used to keep him out of trouble, but we was just young Marines having fun. That's all I'll say about that. So welcome, Mr. Mac, to the podcast.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you. Then next in line, there's actually a tie. Mr. Walter, we know him as Big Walt. He had this mentoring program that he made up himself in Charlotte, North Carolina. And when I checked in, he took it upon himself because I was a new guy. He was supposed to take his kids to Carowinds, which is a theme park in Charlotte, North Carolina. And he ditched his kids that weekend to check me into the new unit. So and since that day and to this day, he's been a guy who's I'd say he's the one who I would be the maddest at and want to fight, but he's so big I couldn't fight him, so I just had to just walk away and be like, okay, you got it, bro. But yes, he is my second longest, oldest friend, and coming in with a tie with that is Danny, which I ain't gonna call him Dan, which he said my name is Dan now. Danny, he comes in second place as well, tie, because I met Walter and Dan at the same duty station, but I met Walter first, and then later on Dan came in, and we kicked it, and we've been very good friends, best friends since that time. Peace. And a little thing about Danny used to be my rap partner. Early in my engineering and producing career, Danny would come in and we'll have us a couple drinks, and he'd come in and he'd say, hey man, I don't know how to rap, but I know how to rap. So, whatever you need to get your production going, he would rap on my beats. We make songs. And now we talk about motorcycles and gardening. So welcome, Mr. Danny, to the show.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you having me.
Thank you, man. And then coming in, last but not least, we got my man Derek. Derek was one of my mentees, one of my Marines that I met in Camp Lejeune when I first was stationed in Camp Lejeune. And he was one of my guys who was so locked and loaded and ready to go. And I seen something in him that I said, man, this dude is going to be great. As a young guy, he was just that. He was the it. If you're talking about being a celebrity on base, this guy was a celebrity on base, man. He had the nice cars. He had the big rims. He always had our higher ups asking questions like, how did he get that car? Can he afford those big rims? Is he doing stuff illegal on base? I'm like, nah, he just fly like that. But he's one of those guys that, man, I wanted to be around. I wanted to instill some character traits in him that I knew he already had, that I just wanted the younger people to latch on to that work with us, because I knew that if they all had an ounce of anything that he had, that, man, I'd have a great shop over there in Camp Lejeune. And we did have a great shop in Camp Lejeune. But yeah, if I had like 15 of Derek's, man, we could rule the world.
That's right.
So again, salute to you gentlemen for being on the podcast. I'm very, very happy for y'all to be here on the podcast with me. And we ain't gonna talk bad about women, but we're gonna talk bad about some things that women do. And so I want to get y'all. I want to hear what your take is on some of these things that we're gonna talk about. Earlier, I said that that between us we have between 60 and 70 years of married time between all of us collectively. So we have a plethora of experience talking about marriage and relationships and women. So, purpose of this podcast, and I'll stop talking and start asking questions and let y'all talk. Purpose of this podcast is to inspire people to do something a little different. There's always the status quo where they say that you should work 24/7 and you should be grinding 24/7. I don't believe that. I believe that, and let me tell you why I don't believe that. I had that thing in my brain one time that you should work 24/7, you should grind 24/7, and what that did to me was that burnt me out. And what I figured out was that I was giving all of myself 100% to everybody else, but I wasn't giving any time back to myself. So I figured, how about I break this time piece down? How about for 3 days and 29 hours, I would take that time to grind it out. And then the rest of the week or the weekend, or however those time frames broke down, I would take that time to relax, to de-stress myself, to do something that I enjoyed to do, and take some time for me instead of just giving my all 100% of the time, all the time. So that is the purpose of the Grind 329 podcast. Always keep me in the mindset that you don't have to grind 24/7, that you can break it down and grind a little bit differently. So that's what that is. So, gentlemen, first question of the night. I know y'all ready. All right. I do not know if y'all watched the video that I sent y'all earlier. By a show of hands, can you show me? Can you say yes, you watched the video, or no, you did not watch the video?
I want to.
All right. For the listening audience, everybody's shaking their head no, saying they did not watch the video.
I don't even know what you're talking about, fam.
that I sent them. All right. So they did not watch the video that I sent them earlier. All right. So in this video, if I can get it to play.
Man was at my front door, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like, right?
Okay.
And then he hit me with the Rico. He pulled the flowers out, and I was like, "Wow, this is different, right?" So I'm not even paying attention. I brush past this, trying to walk down the steps and get to the door, right? Because I'm not paying attention. I'm just so not used to it, and it just hasn't, like, I just didn't have a lot of practice. He opened my car door. I get inside. He closed the door. I immediately went to my group chat. It's weird.
Did you say he opened your car door?
High five.
No. Now let me explain, right? Let me explain. By the time we got to the restaurant, my follow-up text was, "Y'all, that's my bad. I ain't I just realized, and all that stuff we be talking about, we don't really want it. And I felt like he technically did everything that we be saying we be wanting. In my mind, instinctively, my first thought was he corny. But he really did everything that we want. But it's so unheard of that instead of me appreciating it, it's weird. So I want to say, first of all, sorry to that man. Second of all, now, since that, I haven't got it though. And now I want it. And I've been... So I want to say, first of all, sorry to that man. Second of all, now, since that, I haven't got it. And now I want it. And I've...
So pretty much, this young lady says she went on a date with this young man. He came to her door with flowers, and she brushed past the flowers. She got to his car. He opened her car door for her, and she got in the car and said to her group chat that this Negro is corny. Then, as she went further along on the date, she took those words back from her group chat and say, "My bad, I ain't shit. I actually kind of like it." And then, as she went further on along down in the conversation in the date, she did end up later on in the video. She says that she did find the dude very corny, but she did like the things that he did for her. And also, those are some of the things that women ask for, that they wanted the guy that's going to open the door for them, to give them flowers and to shower them with gifts. That's the thing that they want. But once they get it, it don't play the way that they want that fantasy and fairy tale to go in their mind in real life. So, gentlemen, my question to you is chivalry dead?
Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it to start it off.
Go for it.
All right. So, by the way, I'm Walter. And I'm glad you can hear me, Zay. So, I would never say that chivalry is dead. It's just that we as men, it doesn't matter. Genetically, we are inbred to elicit a woman's response. So that's just the way it is. And the reason I'm saying this right here is that in every species of a man is trying to attract a woman. Okay, and so if you look at a duck, the most beautiful duck that's out there is the male duck. You look at a horse, the most beautiful horse you're going to see is going to be a male horse. It's because the man is trying to attract the woman. That's just the way it is. If you look at any species, the man attracts the woman. But somehow we got it twisted now that the women are attracting the men. Because the men, they attract the women, and then the women come in for safety and security, and then from there you manifest a relationship. Because then the man decides that, hey, I'm gonna decide to stay. And so you look at back in the 70s and 50s and everything, a woman said a man had to do all this stuff. Like, I have to have a job, you have to take care of me, you have to do all this. And then for some reason, that over time, it came to the women are advertising when the men and genetically we're meant to advertise. That's the reason the men is bigger, the men is stronger, the men is just everything. Look at a lion. The lion that attracts his mate. Look at a peacock. The most beautiful peacock out there is going to be the male. And then the female comes to the male. And so we just somehow came through with the marketing and advertising. This before social media. Is that the women has went to the advertising and started attracting men. And so what men decide to do is be exactly what the woman wants. So we changed from where we were at, and then we say, hey, we're going to go and we're going to try to get the woman's attention now. So what am I going to be? I'm going to be what you like. And you show me everything that you like off of what you want to do because of what society is saying that you want to do. So it's no longer like, hey, I'm preparing myself for my man. It's just like, no, I need to advertise for my man because that's the only way I'm going to get a man. So if you're doing the advertising, you're doing everything to try to get me, I have to be the person. It's like I'm putting my resume together. I'm going to put my resume on for what you want. And this is when, and you're telling me you don't want the guy that's opening the door. You don't want this. You don't want that. You want the guy that's hanging out in the club. You want the guy that's doing everything else besides, hey, being the guy that he's supposed to be. as my strength, my supporter, and everything else. So the resumes has changed, and the resume is to attract exactly what you want.
I like it. He spoke a word. Okay, what you got, Matt? I see your wheels turning.
I mean, I don't disagree with him. My thing would be, does that mean chivalry is dead, or does that mean being ladylike is gone? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it our fault, or I guess it's not anybody's fault. Maybe is it us changing, or is it them changing? Because I don't want that woman that's on there saying that I'm a cornball, because I do all those things. I still do all those things for my wife, and I taught my son how to do those things. You know, you're gonna open the door. You're gonna get him flowers. I get flowers for my wife like every week, almost every week, like clockwork. You know what I'm saying? There's if the flowers is dead, there's a reason. It's because the store was out of flowers or something like that. I want a woman that respects the things that I do for her. You know what I'm saying? I think some of these and it's the younger generation. It's not. I don't think it's our generation that is saying that is corny. Am I wrong? I don't. You know, it's not corny at all. Those are the things that I'm giving you attention. I'm showing you that I care for you.
Yeah, that was clearly a sign of a woman that didn't know what she wanted. It wasn't about the guy been dead.
She liked it after a while, right?
He treated her nice. He treated her with respect. He brought her flowers. He was nothing but courteous to her. She didn't know what she thought she wanted. Then she looked at him and she didn't like what he did. She didn't know what she wanted. So that's what I was looking at. The guy was looking for a woman that he thought knew what she wanted, and she clearly had no idea what kind of guy she wanted to be with.
Right, and that's why Walter was talking about the social media aspect to it, because maybe the influences that she has are like, hey, I got to do this, I got to have a BBL, I got to have this, I got to have that to attract this man. And again, like you said, Dan, man, she didn't even know what she wanted, bro.
Yep.
So I would say this right here. I'm back to what you said, Matt. When you said about chivalry, I don't think that people always say is chivalry dead. Chivalry is never dead. You know, like a man is going to do whatever he's got to do to attract you. And so, if your sign is telling me, hey, I want you to be this way, that's what you're going to get. You know, so. And that's where I think that women.
Sorry. If you want that type of woman, though.
No, but I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. But right. This is the thing: is that women don't understand how much power they have. So, and this is where the confusion's at. And it's crazy we're having this conversation. I had this conversation probably about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Is that women don't realize the power they have, and so you looking back in our ancient history. You know, everyone has always put the man as, the head and everything, which he's always been. But this is the issue, is that the man has always had the woman beside him. So anything that happened, it came from the woman to the man, and the man would speak. So the man would always have that conversation before he spoke outside of his house, outside of his authority. He didn't speak for his authority. It was always that unity. But then, for some reason, we got it confused, is that the women are it could have been us, but I think I'm going to put it more on women. It's the reason why I'm coming back to this, is that women started to think that they didn't have a place, and it's like, no, it's not. You look at the ancient history, the ancient African history, from life, the women were powered with their power came alongside with the man. But then now, when you look at it as it spins around, is that women don't understand. It doesn't matter if a man is gay or straight, he wants the attention of a woman. That's why women like, oh, my gay best friend, because the women help us out with three different loves that's out there. They help us out with, first, maternal love. They bring us into this earth. That's the reason why men are so attracted to women. No matter if you're gay or straight, you're still attracted to women. If a man hates a woman, it's for one of those loves that's been affected, maternal. The next thing is paternal love. You know, like you raised me, you birthed me, you gave me life. Now you're raising me, helping me out, nurturing me to get me along the way. And then next thing you know, it's the marital love. It's the marital love or the love that we know as being a relationship love. Those are the three loves, you know. And so as we go through that process as men, the women don't realize that they influence all of that. So you teach us what type of woman to love by you being our mother, and we're watching you as you're our mother and as you're going along. I want a woman sort of like my mom because she loved me this way, you know. And then when you get in that relationship, you're looking for attributes that's like the person that you first fell in love with, and then that's what I'm like. I'm not your mama. You don't cook for me. I'm not your mama. You know what I'm saying? You hear stuff like, well, you didn't do this right here. I'm not your mama. Because that's the love that you fell in love with as you went along the way. The gay guys, I'm not gay. I've never been gay a day in my life. I'm not speaking for gay guys. But why do you think they gravitate towards a woman? Because they want a love that they're not getting.
Because they want to be like the women. They want to be a woman. They want to have the attributes of a woman. So that's why they are so enamored by women, because that's who they look to be like.
But I disagree with you on that, Zay.
And not to cut you off, because I want to allow everybody to have an opportunity to talk on this subject. But I think that the generations, like you said, as time has went by, the generations have changed and switched up the dynamic of power. And so now everybody has an idea of what place they want to sit instead of what's worked for centuries. And so now the dynamic is changing to be a little bit different than how it used to be back in the past.
Societal change as well.
Societal change, yes.
Because if you think about back in the 70s, a woman couldn't even get a credit card without a man signing for it. There was no power for women. Couldn't get a house. There was no power for women. So now that society is changing, women are feeling their power, which is good. That's not a bad thing, but that doesn't necessarily mean chivalry has to take a back door. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what Walter's saying. Like, you're going to do what you want to do to attract that female. But you're also going to do what you want to do as a man that makes you happy. You know what I'm saying?
That's our job. The chivalry is our job.
Right. That's because that's how I was brought up. That's how I was taught. This is what's going to make me happy. And if that doesn't make you happy for me to do those things, then we're not compatible.
Derek, what you got?
I think it's more generational. Like, if we can't women things, right? We can't hold them accountable. They he want everything. Man, I have to teach them that. They've seen it. They see me open the car door for my daughter. My wife, daughter, so they know. So I was saying, it's more generational than anything. I think we can't hold people accountable who never seen these things, who've never seen a man open the car door for his wife or his daughter, deliver flowers for their wife and daughter. And we can't blame the males who've never seen their dad do these things. So we can't blame the female who's never had that attention. Their mom never had that attention. So that's how they're going to respond. We can't blame the males because they never seen it either. So it's more so generation than it's gone or lost. Does that make sense? It's more so people haven't seen it, so it's hard to attach that to their new.
So you think you think that they feel like they're getting played, or they're like they're getting set up.
True. Well, too good to be true.
Yeah, too good to be true. Exactly. Yeah.
It's crazy because my wife watched Tyler Perry's Sisters, and I don't know what happened to it, but one of the episodes I did walk in on, these guys were being nice.
You was watching it. Don't act like you walked in on it.
I didn't catch one. Well, I caught more than one, but however, in their mind, they're saying, "Nah, this can't be real. It's 2023. There can't be three good guys we met on the same day. They're all friends. They're complimentary. They bought flowers. They opened doors. This is impossible. It's unreal, right? So that aspect of the woman that never seen it, it is untrue. And it's untrue for the woman who has seen it with her dad and expecting the man to do it. I guess it's unreal to him. Like, talking about, I ain't never opened no door for me. So it's not lost or gone. It just hasn't been exposed to certain groups of people.
Now, so chivalry is like it's a personal trait. It's something. It's about who you are, your character. Just because you haven't seen it, you've seen it on TV. No matter if your daddy showed you or not, no matter if your mom told you or not, you've seen it before.
Everybody got Disney.
A lot of us, our dads teach us how to tie a tie, but we still know how to tie a tie, and we still decide to wear a tie or we don't wear a tie. It's our decision. That don't mean we don't know. But from my point of view, women have just made it easier. Guys don't have to work as hard to get a woman. So why am I going to show out for you? Why I got to open this door? Why I got to do all this? I can do less than that and still get you.
Hey, Danny, you made a Matt. You made a great point about back in the 60s and 70s when women didn't they didn't have much power, much authority, and now 90s and 2000s all the women actions to tell the women they don't need a man, you can do this on your own and everything else like that. And Danny, your point you just made about from the guy side, but also on the women's side is that they did make it easier. You know what I'm saying? For a guy, I'm a single guy out there and I'm doing the stuff that you're talking about, chivalry and everything. Yeah, it's too good to be true. It's too this right, it's too that. But then the next guy can come up there like you were pointing your finger at, Mac. Next guy can go out there and flaunt you and tell you he's going to take you to the mall and buy you some Burberry. Then it's like, oh, it's okay. It's okay because it's something that's flashy. But you got to realize anything that's flashy is going to get dull. And, I'm long term. I'm solid foundation over here, and you looking at everything else that's not solid foundation because it's just a flash in front of your eyes. But everything will get dull. So.
Yeah, but are you going to initially get passed over? Like that's the problem.
Probably.
Yeah, I will get passed over. I will get passed over.
That's part of the game, though. That is part of the game.
Over, now I've been married almost 25 years, so I don't give a damn. But if they pass over me for that, then that ain't the woman for me. You know what I'm saying?
But so what I'm saying is women went to not about how a man can treat me, it's about what a man can do for me. So that's
you're right, Danny.
If I don't have money or he can't provide, if he ain't got all this, then I ain't the type of man I want. When a guy that really don't have much will open doors for you, love you, take care of you and your kids, he may not be able to provide as much, and that ain't the guy you want.
But Danny, I would go on to say this right here is that, and you got a great point there. But when you look at the whole aspect of any relationship, it's not always about the monetary, like you're saying.
Right.
But you got to look at the stability of the relationship. Mac, like you were saying, married 25 years. You've been up through the storms, been down through the storms, had your disagreements, but you're still there. You started off with the foundation of saying, I want to love you. I want to love you. I want to support you. I want to be there for you. But as we grow our wealth and grow whatever, we can do the other stuff. And Danny, you're right. You know what I'm saying? We will get passed over. But then eventually, it'll narrow itself down. Like they think that it's not many of us. It's not many of you all. It's not many of you all that want to be loved and love me for who I want to be and treat you to where you want to be. Because you're so stuck on your impression about how society sees you and how everyone else, your image to society, you actually forget what you really want in life. Like you said, Derek. You know what I'm saying? What do you really want? You know what I'm saying? Do you want this now? Because most of the time, you don't want this until later. And by the time it's later, you want me later? I don't want kids when I'm at 45 years old starting my life. I don't want that then. You know what I'm saying? I'm already done. I'm already done. I want to sit back and enjoy life with you. Oh, we're sitting at home. We're enjoying life now. We're not raising little snotty noses and everything getting pregnant at this age.
Exactly.
So...
Derek had the point. He said it was generational, but it depends on your and it really does. But it depends on your age. These young girls they never figure it out until later, and the ones that kind of had that father that used to do those things for their mother, brought her flowers, blah blah blah. Maybe that's what they're looking for. I don't know. Between the social media that Walter brought up and the generation that Derek brought up, man, these young girls, I just don't think they know what they want at all.
And that is where we'll leave that question. We'll leave that question because we talk about that all night. Very good points, gentlemen, on that question. I think that's what the young lady realized after coming to a realization after the date was over, that she missed out on a good thing, and that she wants that because now she's back in the dating pool and feels that the dating pool is a cesspool, and she's not getting that more than she got on that one date that she went in. So next question I got for y'all. What is it? Okay, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. This is going to be yes and no question and answer. Can you live off love? Derek, can you live off love? Just love. Can you live off love? We'll come back to your yes or why not. We'll come back to your why or why not, but yes or no.
Now, if both love that, hey, let's get a plan to get us out. If both love say, hey, let's get a plan to get us out of this situation, and they continue to, all right, let me go on to the next level. All right, we're here now in the apartment. All right, let's get a house next. If love is willing to follow one's lead. So if one person got a good idea, whether it's man or wife, if they agree to follow one's lead, I can do that. But just saying, hey, we living on the street, but we love each other. Now I can't do that.
Okay, awesome, love it. Mac, can you live off love?
Yes. When me and the wife got married, we had a couch and a TV. I mean, we ain't had nothing. Apparently, Acton's been to my house, so we ain't had nothing back in the day. Yeah, you can live off love, but you gotta be progressing. You've got to be building.
All right, Danny.
Of course. Yes.
And Walter, can you live off love?
Yes.
All right, I like it. And my answer is yes. I think that I absolutely can live off love. The reason I asked that question because there's this may be triggering. Let me put a trigger warning out there to some of you all. This may be a trigger. There are some people whose spouses have gotten sick, and so now sex is off the table. Her cooking for you is off the table. The things that she would do for you is off the table. So now all you have is your love for your spouse. And so now your dynamic changes in what you would ask for your wife or what your wife wants for you. And now you no longer have that. So now all you have is love. So are you able to just live for the next 20 years off of love? And so my answer would be yes, because that foundation that you have with your spouse is what should ground you and what should carry you through your marriage anyway. So let's say you're no longer able to have sex and you need to have sex. Now that teaches you in your relationship that you need to find something else that takes the place of that sexual relationship that you have with your wife. So
There's a hand.
anybody say that again?
There's a hand.
Does she got hands? Does she got hands? I think, yeah.
Just trying to make sure what you say. All right.
All right, I hear you. All right, so next question.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
yeah.
All time.
they have apparatuses. They have apparatuses that you can use now. They got toys you can use
Whoa,
now.
we
You
don't want
got,
to know about your sex life, man. Just
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
just saying,
you
I'm
know,
just
be
saying
personal.
that
You
there's
know too
VR. You can go on the VR and pretend.
much. You got all this stuff at your
he
house. man.
knows too much.
Remember,
You been to
Yeah, I do.
You been to Thailand?
Yeah, I got one of those things you get to tie up people with and everything.
Days are great.
Now I'm playing. My wife would kill me if she even had an inkling that I said some shit like that. No, I ain't got none of that shit. But
This is
but yeah,
this is a recorded podcast.
this is a recording. Everything you hear on the podcast is not true. All right, so check it out. Next question: is no sex a deal breaker in your marriage? And let's put a number on it. Well, let's say you had sex 2 times a year. Is that a deal breaker in your marriage?
I don't appreciate you bringing my marriage into this, man. Look,
Oh man, no sex a deal
we
breaker.
own.
It's not.
Look, man, like, no, I do a little more than 2 times a year, but yeah, like it goes back to what Derek said about the generations and the ages. Like, we're older now, you know what I'm saying? Like, and we've been together forever, so nah, it's not gonna bother me now. But when I was in my 20s, yeah, fuck yeah, well, I'm gone. Deuces, you know what I'm saying? But we've been together so long now. But we talk through everything too. This is where I'm at. This is where you at. I need you to do this. I need you to do that, and it'll work itself out in the end. But it's not a deal breaker for me anyway.
Okay, awesome. I like it. What you got, Danny? I see your wheels is turning up there.
If there's no physical way possible, then I'll accept.
He said 2 times a year.
Look, no. If it's physically possible, sex is a huge part of my relationships, marriage, interaction with a woman. If it's not physically possible, and we've been married, we stuck together. I ain't going nowhere. But when I say physically possible, I'm talking about whole hands, toes, mouths. When you physically I can slide a leg over, I can hold the leg up, I can work with a bad hip. We can figure it out.
Okay. I can work with a bad.
But when it's no longer physically possible, then I will understand.
And you got cracks and crevices to go to. So there's different ways to be intimate. So you can get what you need to get off if you need to. The reason I bring that up is that I do know I've heard of people saying that once they've been married so long, the sex stops happening. No. And so that's why I wanted to bring that question into the forum, is that could you live if your wife is physically able to have sex with you, but she just whatever the issue is why she don't want to have sex is present in your relationship, and she just is not there to have sex with you, and then when she does have sex with you, it's when it's that just by chance it was New Year's and you got lucky, and then somewhere down the line somebody's birthday, and that was all you got for the whole year.
All right, Zay, so you're not saying that she can't have sex. You're saying she doesn't want to. Now,
she's able to. She just you just whatever the reason is, she has not just gave you none for.
But that changes the conversation. Because
I'm with you, Danny.
That's a part of our relationship, and that's how we express ourselves with each other. And you just don't want to no more. We need to talk. We need to talk about.
And Danny, I 100% agree with you on that. So Zay, when I read the question the first time, I read it like Danny, like when Danny first made it, like, hey, this is something physically you can't do, mm-hmm. But this is a conscious decision.
Yeah, it's different.
And so when that's a conscious decision, it becomes totally different. And so like Derek said before, the foundation, maybe it was Mac. Foundationally, you have already set your relationship up. You've already built this stuff. Don't get me wrong. We all married. We're not having sex like we had in the 20th when we were 20. You know what I'm saying? That shit pieces along throughout the week. You know what I'm saying? Like, or throughout the month. How you get it. You got to set a date up to get some. You know what I'm saying? We all married. Been married for quite a while. You know what I'm saying? You got to set a date up. Put that shit on the calendar. But when someone physically make a decision to alter our relationship, there's got to be a discussion because there's a problem somewhere. She's dealing with something and if she's dealing with something, we're dealing with something. Yeah. So it's no longer become a her issue. It's a us issue. And so that's the reason why we have to resolve this issue to get back on track to where we want to be at. So that's the difference, is that we can't point the finger and say she did it. We got an issue.
Well, you want to have sex, but
I
she
know, but
don't.
there's a bigger
But
issue though. We got
she
to figure out
don't
the
want.
issue.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. It is a we problem, but she does not feel in the moment that she wants to have the sex that when you want it. So it's a disconnect between the two of you.
I know, and the only thing, yeah,
Say that again.
She's saying Joe.
That oh yeah, that could be something.
and
That
that,
could
but
be
this is,
something.
and then this is the thing is that like now because you know that is a problem, it's up to you guys to work together to fix that issue instead of just saying that she don't want to do it because she can't make a decision that affects both of you guys. You guys make a decision together. It's got to be a
Well,
collective decision.
that's the way it's supposed to be. But I'm telling you, it is a large number of men that are married men that are not having sex with their wives, and it's
Because
because the wives do not. I know there's an underlying problem, but
yeah,
those wives are still not having sex with their husbands, and it is up to those men to communicate and find out why it is that you're not having sex and why she don't want to have sex. But I'm telling you, I know personally of some people, and
and
I
I
can't.
agree. I agree with you. I agree with you. I seen it. I seen it.
The,
Zake. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but if we're having a podcast and we want to get this out, we need to make sure we let the people know. Quit pointing the finger at the wife, and then understand. Quit trying to treat the symptoms, and then figure out what the root problem is. And if you figure out the root problem is, you and your wife will be able to recover from this if that's what you would like to do. Put in the work to figure out the problem. And, because
counseling.
yeah, but
Does counseling work? Is this an opportunity to introduce counseling before you know what the problem is?
I think this is the time to work on self. If maybe you're not doing what really attracted her in the beginning, I'm not letting
Mm-hmm.
the woman off the hook. I'm just saying, dig into your bag, get better, be more intimate, be more surprising, get back to yourself, work on yourself. Um, and I'm not saying that will work, but then it's a real problem if you're doing all these things, you're getting better, you're more attentive, you're listening, you're cooking, you're cleaning, you're doing everything that a man normally wouldn't do, right? You're helping out more around the house. You're still doing your end as well. But you get to that level of where you're just a better human being on a higher level, right? If that don't attract her, then you're right. There is some deeper.
That's
And then
something
at that
else.
point, yeah, but I would definitely work on self first. Not taking none. She should have a part in it as well. Why she don't want to, but
Mm-hmm.
before I figure hers out, I definitely reach another level in myself.
A huge part.
That's
so
that's a mature
A huge,
that's a mature
go ahead,
way to
Dan.
think of it. Go ahead,
a
Danny.
huge part of that's communication. When you in a and if something's off, something's wrong, you talk to that person. You don't hold in your feelings and emotion and then you shut them off from sex. What is that solving? That's creating.
Yeah.
If she felt kind of
So
way that
so
she didn't want to do it, say something. Maybe
so Danny, I
go
would
off, whatever. Say
Danny,
something.
Danny, I would say this right here, and I'll be short with it. Is that the problem is that women don't think like us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we got to understand is that a woman, like I'll give you the simple example. You met your wife, and you met your wife in whatever age you met your wife. You dressed a certain way. You're going to continuously dress that way until your wife walks up to you and say, why don't you try this? Or you already outgrow that, or this, whatever. Because you're going to continuously be you. Men, we're typically going to be ourselves. The problem with a woman is that genetically, with their chemical balance and everything else, they change. So you got to
Hey,
continuously,
Deidre, can you get me the white extension
you got to
cord and the
continuously
charger?
understand and learn your woman as she's
Huh?
changing
My phone?
because she will change. You got to treat her like Jenna said, treat her like college.
Yeah, I think
She's going to continue
the
to change
charger
after she has
is.
kids. You're unmuted, Zay. So after she has kids, her chemical balance change. When she goes pre-menopause, her chemical balance change. During menopause, her chemical balance change, and she's going to continuously change. We don't have the problem of us doing that. Something socially have to change with us in order for us to change. We're losing our job, stressful stuff like that. We don't change like a woman.
I don't know. We need them dick pills though.
That is true. That is
I don't
true.
need none.
That
I
is
don't need
true.
none.
Zay, you
I'd
sent me
like to
some.
try one, but I
You
don't
sent
need
me some,
none.
Zay. Don't even try that.
I'd like to try one time, but I
They
don't need them.
on all that shit. Hims, Blue Chews.
Blue Chew, the honey.
He got all of them. Free trial.
They got the
free trial
they
offer.
got the maca root. They got all kind of shit
And
now, boy.
he got that farm. You know he got that farm, so he grows all that shit in his backyard.
Yo,
Oh no,
no doubt. This dude was talking about apparatuses and stuff. Come on, Zay. You know you was taking the pills, man.
Nah, I don't need none of those. My
don't
testosterone's still good.
Don't go to the pool house. You're gonna need the daggone use Clorox wipe to touch the doorknob.
yeah. But back.
Okay, next question. Okay,
Why these
so check it out.
so sticky? Hey, go ahead, Zay.
Wow. Next question. Here, all right, so check it out. So I read that there are 5 love languages, and there's 5 different types of love languages. So if you're unfamiliar with what the love languages are, there are words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. And this concept was created by a marriage counselor that worked with couples that had been together a long time, and they came up with these different love languages. So I was wondering to the panel if you all were aware of your love languages and if you had any.
All right, I'll go first. Yes, and my is quality time. Can you hear me?
Come close to your phone.
I love quality time. I've taken that test a couple of times. Hell, my wife used to be an instructor for it, and it's always been quality time for me. Effort invested in my life means more than anything else.
Like it. I'll go next. I have a couple love languages. Shit, actually, all of them are my love languages. Acts of service, receiving gifts, and when I say acts of service, that's damn oxtails and rice. My wife, one day she go and cooks oxtails and rice. Oh man, I'm overjoyed. I'm busting open. And then like I said, receiving gifts. I'm growing up. We always were surprised when we were going to receive gifts. Like, we didn't have a lot of birthday parties. My mom would cook us a cake here and there for our birthdays. We'd get, my grandmother would mail us like money in the mail for our birthdays. Like, get $5 here, $10 here. And so, when we did get stuff, it was always like a surprise. So growing up, I never was like, I didn't always have a continuous process where I knew something was coming. Like, it's like, okay, we're gonna go to McDonald's once a year. So now as an adult, receiving gifts anytime because my wife likes to give gifts. So anytime my wife gives me gifts, I'm like always surprised. Like, damn, she's giving me, it could be gift cards. It could be anytime she get a bonus, she giving me the bonus, like the whole bonus. And I'm like, why would you give me the whole bonus? Like, let's split it in half. She's like, no, you do all this for the family, blah, blah, blah. Take the whole freaking thing. So, yeah, those two are big on my list for love languages. And then I do all those things as well back, to my significant other. All right, Walter, what you got? Oh, Matt, go ahead.
My love language is actually quality time, and acts of services. And then it's just, the guy that does the love language, I met him like 3 or 4 times at the different things, because he used to come to the base, and the Army's always paying for stuff like that. So I met him like 3 or 4 times. But I mean, he gives a good class, and he's got some other stuff. If you follow him, he got some other stuff about stuff. But then with the other thing, Jay, I'll tell you was very important, and it's one thing I learned there, is that your love language may not be your spouse's love language. So what you have to do, you have to learn your spouse's love language, because what you naturally want to do is love somebody the way you want to be loved. Like, my wife's love language is words of affirmation. You know what I'm saying? Like, her love language is words of affirmation. Like me, I love to give gifts, but that's not what she likes. She don't like gifts. She's like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, damn, I just went out and bought this right here. And she's gonna say, damn, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And I like, I like physical touch. That's not my wife's love language. She likes words of affirmation. and then that's her number one love language. And so if you don't know your wife's love language and you're loving her in a different love language, you're going to be disappointed because it's not how she feels. So it's very important that you understand your wife's love language and speak to her on her love language. And don't get me wrong, I still fail at it. But at least I'm aware of it at least like once or twice a week. So
communication, pretty much, it's all built around communication. Once you understand your love language, you understand her love language, and you communicate about it, then you're able to. There's no disconnect. There's no. Well, I didn't know this is what you liked, or you don't go and buy the wrong gift, or you don't go and book the wrong vacation because you already know what it is that she likes and what she requires. What you got, Derek?
Oh man,
I'd like to hear yours.
I'm him. I'm all,
I know.
I'm all them. The buddy who wrote him, he need to come holler at me. I'm forgiving. I'm motivational. I pay the.
You pay the bills.
I'm an electrician. I'm a heater man, like the plumbing, like I'm all that. Man,
What
we talking about? Nah, I'm him. Nah, but I'm in tune. And just like I said, I just always try to get better. So, and take less off her plate. We always have women that, like my wife, always trying to take everything off my plate. So I developed that as well, and I've gotten good at it over the years. So, yeah. So I'm taking everything off plates. That's it. Hey, I'm cleaning up, doing the dishes.
Yeah, that's an act of service.
I mean, add all that. Add about 30 more. Yeah.
All right, Mac. I'm ready to hear you, Mac. I know you probably got like 2 on the list.
I have no idea what my love language is. I know what my wife's is, and my wife and your wife probably get along because of that. She just wants to gift me everything in the world. She gives me stuff, and ever since I've been retired, she's my sugar mama. And anything I want, she just gives it to me, and I feel like a whore half the damn time. Like, are you just buying this dick or what? Like, calm down. I need love and affection, and she just buying the dick. Acts of servitude, that's not me. I don't know. I do a lot of chivalry type stuff. I guess touching. I love hugs and feeling on her butt and slapping her ass when I walk by the stove and shit. But who don't? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Who doesn't?
Right.
So yeah, I see a little bit of science in my man and what he's talking about with the love languages and everything, but I think it's really simple. It's just to each his own. You know what I mean?
I love it. So we got everybody. Everybody gave their love language. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we lost Walter.
I heard.
Oh, there he is.
I heard a story. I heard a story about this young man who told me that when he came home, his wife took off his boots, rubbed his feet, and gave him a beer, while asking him how his day is, and was he ready for dinner? And his dinner was served to him while he sat on the couch and watched football. Now that has never happened to me. My wife has asked to rub my feet, but I don't like nobody touching my feet. Yeah. So yeah, Danny.
That's a true story. Hey, I'll tell you, man. Look, me and my wife, nothing. We started out 2 years before I joined the Marine Corps until 2 years after I joined, until I retired from the Marine Corps. So she did the whole ride. We created our own world of how we treated each other. No negativity in the house. It's always we speak positive. We do the best for each other, no matter how big or how small it is. If it mattered to you, it mattered to me. And if my feet hurt, I couldn't do nothing. She wanted to make sure my feet didn't hurt no more. If her back hurt for whatever she was doing, I wanted to make sure her back wouldn't hurt no more. We constantly give and invested in each other. And she knew, like, if I'm working, I'm tired. As soon as I come home, I'm going to want a beer. She knew that already. So she would have it ready for me. That's how we treat each other. It ain't no different than she come home from work. I would do the same thing for her. I know her thing is she gonna want to go take a bath and she gonna catch up on her TV shows and just wind down and be left alone for the night. So cool, no problem. I've already planned out my night. I know she getting off. I'll go run her some bath water. Baby, your stuff in there. She'll go do her bath. I'll see her when I get ready for bed because I know that's what she wants. Me time. But that was all day, every day, man.
I hope you didn't mind me bringing that up on the podcast.
No, man, you know me and my wife, man. So, hey, ain't nothing.
So is that a does that depend on everybody's culture? You know what I'm saying? Like, say, I'm not sure what your wife is anymore, but I mean, I'm not trying to be slick or anything, but
I know.
I don't want to say the wrong thing, but is it like, you know, my wife is Creole and she's from New Orleans, you know what I'm saying? So we have different cultures, and I'm not sure, you know, what Danny's got or what Derek's got or whoever. Is that a cultural thing, or is it, or you just think it's a love thing?
All right, so
I think it's a love thing.
Yeah, so me and my wife was 7 years older than me. Now, currently my wife has passed away 2 years ago from cancer. So I'm widowed, I'm no longer married. But I was married for 20 years before she passed away. So we both grew up in the same environment, just, you know, black family, growing up, project housing. We grew up the same lifestyle, single parent housing, the whole nine. We just wanted different lives for each other. Because we are that married couple in the family that's together forever. Like, that's us. Our family don't really know each other apart, who they're really related to, because we've been together for so long. All the nieces and nephews think I'm the blood relative. You know what I'm saying? So we were the image of what a married couple should be for both of our families, because we didn't really have anybody married in our family. So it wasn't nothing we learned. It was something that we made honest decision about how we wanted to treat each other.
You changed the game.
Yeah.
And so Danny,
my wife is Filipino. Before you start, Walter, because you're gonna
See,
talk
I didn't
long.
want to say it. I was gonna say Polynesian or something, and I knew I was gonna fuck it up.
My wife is Filipino, and yeah, they like to do all that kind of stuff. They like to cook and take care of the husband and all that kind of stuff. But my wife is different. My wife is corporate America, and yeah. So now the roles have switched. Now I do all those things that the woman would do in the household, because she's corporate America. She works 24/7. So I take care of I'm retired. I take care of the house. I cook because I like to cook, and she cooks on occasion. So yeah, go ahead, Walter. Filipino, that's what she is. She's a different Filipino, though.
Hey, so my wife, she's African American, Chicago area, and so with my wife, and this goes back to what Derek and the guys have said before. It's about the foundation, the foundation that you build and what you build upon, because like your relationship is going to manifest, is going to grow however you're going to let it grow and what you pour into your relationship. So my wife at one time before we had little kids, because me and my wife, we were together for 5 years before we had a child. And then we did the best thing you could possibly do. We moved far away from our family. So we had to learn to depend and go and depend on each other. We didn't have people in our ear and in our business. She couldn't run to her friends. She couldn't run to anything. She had to rely on me. I had to rely on her. And so when you do that, you build that foundation, and it's like, all right, we're in this together. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been with my wife now, 17 years. We've been together. We've been together 17 years. We've been married for 15 years. And I'm just like any other family, any other person out there. When you get over that 5-year honeymoon, you start to go through your stuff. I don't know if I can cuss on there. You start to go through your stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so when you're going through your stuff, the only thing that's going to keep us together as we're going through these trials and tribulation is the foundation and the struggles that we've been through before, when we had nothing but us going through this. And so when it comes to this right here, it's the love and the foundation and everything you pull inside there, because at times when you want to quit, you just say, that motherfucker been too goddamn good for me. They've been too good to me. When you want to walk away, you realize, like, yeah, some better shit out there, but that shit that glitter ain't always gold. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I would say, that when you come back and it goes full circle, is that it depends on what you and that person have built and established. I came from a single wide trailer in Andrews, South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? My wife, she came a little bit better than me. I can't lie about that. You know what I'm saying? But the things that me and her has accomplished, you know what I'm saying? Danny, me and you go way back, you know what I'm saying? And, Zay, you really know me. I tell you what, I wouldn't trade none of that in for all of that. I wouldn't trade none of that in for this glitter shit that's out there. Until the day that she decided she don't want me again, I'm always gonna be her husband.
And Danny can attest to the dating, how it is to be forced to be back into the dating pool, and what it is now. He from what I'm hearing, it ain't damn glitter and gold. The grass ain't green on the other side.
Oh man, look, stay where y'all at. It's better on that side. It ain't nothing that's out here left no bitter, battered, torn ass women that's miserable as hell from their previous experiences that can't let them emotions go. Y'all stay where y'all at.
And unfortunately, my man was forced to be back out in the dating pool.
Yeah. So we'll get everybody's opinion on that. So
but
I throw it out there. So
go ahead.
I was married for 20 years. Me and my wife were together 23 years total, married for 20 years before she passed away. Throughout that time, we were never able to conceive kids. So since she passed away, I've been seriously going down that journey, like debating if I really want to do that again. Because I have no biological kids. So because of that, I've been out there dating, kind of getting back out there, feeling the way, meeting people, doing the dance, and hey, I'm still on that journey. So what y'all think about that?
You can do it.
I feel tired just hearing you talk about it. You're like, damn, I got a date tonight?
Oh, man.
Right. That's what I was just about to say.
What am I going to wear?
Hey,
I got to ask the same old boring shit. So what do you do?
So
really? That
what's your
sounds
favorite color?
interesting.
What's your favorite color? What kind of music do you like? Do you like rap music? Do you like R&B music?
So y'all been married for a long time. Think about this, man. You got to get to know somebody. First off, I've been married for 20 years. I never knew I had insecurities until my wife passed away. I can't trust a motherfucker like I used to trust her. So that's always going to be something I got to work with, right? You out here and you meet this person. You've been married for a while. You know what comes along with the person. And now, at our age, I'm 42. So at this age right now, how many women you think I come across that don't have any kids? How many women you think I come across that actually still want to have kids? How many women you think I come across that's still able to have kids? And then me, I'm an old soul. I was married to a woman 7 years older than me. I have a huge issue with women younger than me because they don't know what I know. They don't see what I see.
They ain't been where you've been, and now you got to train them and teach them where you've already been 20 years on the road. Now you got to go back and teach them all this shit over again.
He said train them, bro.
Pretty much.
In the age of Diddy, I don't know about no training, no chicks, man. I don't want no lawsuits. You got to watch your words.
Yeah, for the audience out there, when I say
not training younger chicks, that is not what we're doing.
No. We're not doing that. What I'm saying for the listening audience out there is that you know how it is that you like things, so you're able to set those things into place for a lady that wants to go along with those things and agree to go along the path that you have set forth of what you like. And if she agrees that yes, I'd like to do A, B, and C, just like you explained, then you're able to go further into the relationship after you have agreed.
I'm not sure that's going to
you have consented.
Go through a court of law. I'm going to check with the attorneys, but you might want to watch yourself training.
You go for it. You go for it. All right. Go ahead. What you say?
Said go for it or something. You think 42 having a kid is okay? Starting over?
I think your legacy matters. right? I think if you do find someone and y'all hit it off and y'all have the same kindred spirit, and she wants to conceive one. My uncle is 6 months younger than me, right? So that means my mom and my grandma was pregnant at the same time,
Oh, you got you.
right? So he a Marine too, right? You know, he did his thing in the Marines, and he's very successful in California right now, right? Coming from
That's what's
small town Montgomery, Alabama, and how we grew up. So to and she passed when she was 85. To get to see 40 years of his life,
all
uh, that's not saying you doing it 42. You want to be able to see your child grow,
right.
right? So he's very successful in California. I'm talking about running stuff. So I think you should, bro. I think legacy is important. I think the soul that I've met, and I just met you tonight, and Mac, funny as hell, and Walt got a lot of knowledge. I just met these guys tonight. However, we have a mutual brother in Zay, but we need more young men in the world like you, because I have no doubt you'll raise the kid how you putting on right now. So I think that's important.
Right.
I think that's you doing your what's in the word, say fruitful and multiply,
Right.
right? Yeah, so
So,
I think it's important.
and I tell people like this too. At this point in life, I'm more well of a man as a human than I've ever been in my life. Like when most people had kids when they're young, you fighting against stability, you fighting against your emotional past, you fighting on with your goals, starting a career, your education.
True.
Your time is limited to be there for your kids like you would want. And almost every parent will tell you that first kid, if they had more time, they would have did right by that kid. You know what I'm saying? They would have did for that
Correct.
child. You know what I'm saying? So now that I've already had a career, I've already retired from that. I've already been married. I've seen what it's like to have a man and a woman in a household for over 20 years. My wife had a stepson that I raised as my son. You know, still to this day, even after she passed. So we both raised a child together. You know, we've
So you got a child.
yeah, stepson. I don't have any biological kids.
There is no stepson. You got a child.
Oh,
I agree.
I know that he's always gonna be my child. No problem with that. I raised him since he was 5. He's 30 years old now. Believe me, he ain't going nowhere. So, but
My son's not biologically mine.
mhm,
I have a daughter that's biologically mine. My son, much like you, I got with him when he was young. He was a baby because me and my wife were just friends. You know, we weren't messing around or nothing, but we were just friends. And she was just telling me all the problems with the baby daddy and all this, and I was like, "Yo, put my name on the birth certificate." I was young and stupid, doing some stupid shit, but trying to be chivalrous, you know. But nah, I made it happen, and that's my son. I mean, Zay's met him several times.
Yeah.
That is my son.
Hey,
all right. And
That is my son. He don't look nothing like me, but that's my kid. You know what I'm saying? The bloodline, like Derek said, you know, you gotta have your bloodline keep going or whatever. But the bloodline's going, but he's got my name, so my name will continue to go. You know what I'm saying? It's in rotation. I do
Yeah.
think that's an important thing, though. Your legacy, bro. Like you gotta have something to throw out there and just keep going. You know.
And let me say this, y'all all have done an incredible job with your kids.
Man, fuck them kids.
He always say fuck them kids, but Mac love the kids, man. Y'all have done incredible jobs with y'all kids, man, and they are. I can just speak out of just experience that I wanted to have raised my kids as well as you all have raised your kids, and have my kids look up to me like your kids look up to you all. I have 2 more questions in the podcast. This one is gonna erupt, probably get my podcast canceled, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. What is it that women should have known by now that they just ain't got it yet?
all right, I'll take it. I thought everybody be jumping all over this. Pussy ain't everything.
Okay, if you can rate it,
hold
hold
on.
on. Save it. Listen, if you could rate coochie on 0 to 10, what number would you rate coochie in its greatest form?
Like, I mean,
We mean as in importance to a relationship?
No. Let me just say this. Every woman thinks they have the greatest coochie in the world. Right? And so if you could rate coochie really on a men's scale of how great coochie really is, what would you rate it as a all out 10? Are you happy that God put the hole there? Wait a minute. I am happy that God put the hole there. I love it. What would you rate it?
Look, man.
What would you rate it? Well, let me say this.
Let me say this.
Let me say this. Vagina has collapsed a whole lot of freaking. It has been a downfall of men and empires for centuries. That itty bitty whatever it is crevice that's in the body has ruined empires. And nowadays, women think that they all have the best. So if you could really put a number on it, what number would you put on it from 0 to 10?
To me, it would depend on the woman. Because I had some... There's a variety out there. You know? It's not all bad. You know, some are wetter than others. Some are drier than others. Some are firmer than others. They, squeeze tighter. Some are a little looser. It's a variety out there. But it's having it, that's like, sex in my relationship. It's very important. It's up there.
Okay. Up there. What number would you give it of importance? 9, from 0 to 10.
Man, look. 8.
Okay, I like it. 8. Okay, Matt, what you got? I see your wheels turning. We can't see Mac for the listening audience. He's looking around as if I ain't. Oh, he's trying to see if his wife is listening.
I don't know if my wife listening or not.
0 to 10.
I guess it depends. Like if it's good, if it's really good, man. I've been addicted to some pussy, so I can tell you it might be a 10. But if you really like the woman or you really like the girl, it's, to me, as long as it's adequate, like maybe a little bit better than average. So if it's a 6, I can deal with it. If we're compatible other ways, but if we're just fucking, I mean, I need 9, 10, 8, 9, 10.
Okay. 8, 9, 10. I'll take it. What's the average between 8 and 10? 9. So Mac is giving it a 9. Okay, Derek.
If we're just fucking.
I know this is not a Christian conversation, but I want to hear your man thought.
I think it's a 10. Like, you mess around and be a breatharian. But you gotta consume water because your body is mostly. I mean, you get so much stuff done, right? You help out more. You're just in a better mood. I think it's essential. I think it's very important. That's why I think it's a 10. You get more out of both parties. Get more stuff. Have more. It's probably a 10 for me. I skip breakfast and lunch.
I got you. Hey, yeah, because we have the history of the fall of some civilizations based off of vagina, I'm gonna give it also a 10. I used to say that when I die, I'm gonna ask, when I see God, the first question I'm gonna ask him is why he put vagina on the earth and why he made some of them so good to make us lose our minds, because I had some too that made me lost my mind. And I don't want to. Okay, next question.
I mean, basically, what do men usually get fucked up upon? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
What do we fuck? Well, when do we do stupid shit?
it don't-
It's always over pussy.
so that goes back to what Zay was saying earlier. I mean, what Walter was saying earlier. You know, it's supposed to be a time to where women come to the men, but men go after women. You think about almost everything that a man does is about getting to pussy. You want to show off, you want to look good to get some pussy. You want to make all this money so you can have all the hoes chase up after you so you can get some pussy. Like a lot of men focus that on their accomplishment is about the baddest women that they got. You know what I'm saying? Like how many women they slept with, you know, things like that. So that's why it's like that. Men stab their brothers in the back over some coochie. But it's all about where your mind at. Like, can you live without it? Like they said, we get to that age as we transition, our spouses can't do those things no more. Can we transition without it? It's still life and love without it. So that's why I couldn't solid 10 because I know at that point, some point, y'all stay married. You're gonna go through the transition with things popping like me.
Dan, let me ask you a question, and I don't mean to offend you at all, Dan.
No, you're not.
If you could have your wife back and never have pussy again, would that be something that you would do?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's not all about pussy.
Right. And that's why I say, so I mean, it's up there, but we could all live without it.
Yeah. We got hair, we got apparatuses. They got apparatuses.
But
My man said apparatus.
They got lube.
That makes me know he got a swing
they
chair
got blow
in the
up
bedroom.
dolls. They got swinging chairs.
so Zay, that goes back.
They got machines that pump and
you
move and all kind of shit.
got.
I don't have none of them shits. Oh man, I'm just having fun. I'm just bullshitting.
So that's what I'm saying right there. What women didn't know then, what some of them still don't know now, that your pussy isn't everything. It don't matter if what woman got the greatest pussy. Yeah, pussy and everything. And one day you ain't got that pussy, and on that pussy, the only thing you stood. When you don't have it no more, then who are you? What do you have now? When you was looking after, I'm gonna fucking shot him, he gonna do that. You wasn't loving that. And now where you at? You know what I'm saying?
And what is it connected?
And some women think that's love right there. I give myself to this man. He loved me. I'm giving him a part of me. I'm sharing myself with him. He gotta love me, and that's not true. These motherfuckers don't care. They're gonna take your pussy and be gone.
What is it connected to? What, like, you can have the best vagina in the world, but you as a person is shitty,
right?
And then what? I can't be in a relationship with you, but I can, I enjoy your box.
Well, I mean,
like you are a terrible human being, but you got great box. But don't do nothing for me in the long run.
But as a man loves to have sex with a woman, a man still loves a good woman. A man loves a good woman. Every one of us don't have a good woman in his life. They wasn't even.
Hey, Danny, I do agree with you 100%.
Good character, everything,
and we
and
all
that's
know
what you enjoy. That just as much as having sex.
You be in love with the one that you love, and that's gonna be a good woman or whatever. And then who you don't love, that's where you go. That's where you go. You know what I'm saying? And so I do agree with that. And and it's about having that foundation about the things that you built upon, because some things are not as important. I would rather have the person I'm beside, the person I really love, than anything else in this world. You know what I'm saying? Because everything else is just tangible. But what the woman gives me is the intangible. Because, and I tell you this, I saw a picture a while back. It had a man who was hugging. He was hugging his family and his wife, and he had his back. His back had the arrows and everything else like that inside of it. And and the way how I looked at it was this right here, was that hey, so this man goes out, he fight the world's battles and everything, and then he's taking on the world, gets stabbed in the back, getting everything else he's doing. But when he keeps his chest to, he keeps his heart to his family, to his wife, to his love. What she does, she gives him enough encouragement, enough energy to go to fight that battle again today for his family. And so, yeah, I mean, if I'm not able to do this, and that's not the greatest, man, I tell you the truth, I'd rather have my heart and my soul rejuvenated every night or every day than anything else.
Yep. So
That's a
So,
word.
so,
That's a
so
word.
say like I was saying, that's my opinion. And what women didn't know then and what they still don't know now is that they pussy ain't everything. It's men out here, especially men like us, that really know how to love a woman. But just like that video you showed us, that woman didn't know how to receive it. And that's what women still don't know right now.
I love it.
That's
So
a
check
great
it
point.
out. I love it. I love that. So check this out. Last question of the night, and I'll let you great gentlemen get back to your families out. Again, I really appreciate y'all taking the time and being here for me for the podcast. And just before I forget this, I love each and every one of you very much.
Love you, bro.
I am man enough to say that to you all. Just in case I don't get to tell you that often, I really do. Appreciate you all as people, as men, and as friends. Last question. A lot of us have adult kids over 18. I think all of us, yes, all of us have adult kids over 18.
Hey, Danny, let me answer first.
What have
Jay, let me
your
answer first because
kids
I'm
that
about
are
to go to
over
dinner.
18
I'm about to go.
taught
Go ahead and
you
Ray, go ahead. All right, so
taught
listen,
you
the things
that
I've
you
learned, and the
realize?
reason why I'm telling you this right here. So I was previously married,
Go
and
for it.
then and then my oldest kid is 24. With my oldest young man is 24. My daughter's 21. Then I also got a 10-year-old, a 7-year-old. So the things that I've learned to be patient and allow people to be who they're going to be. And so when you're patient, you allow somebody to be who they're going to be. They don't have to live up to your expectations of what you want to do. It puts less stress on them. It lets them figure out their life. And I allow them to learn. Let people make mistakes. Learn off their own mistakes. Don't try to shield the world from their mistakes. They gotta learn. Because if you don't do it, what they're gonna always do is blame you for the reason why they did or they did do something. Okay, so those are the two things I've learned is that allow people to make mistakes and be patient and don't have someone live your life for you. Well, not you already live your life. Let them live their life. Let them make mistakes. Let them do everything else. Let them be them and develop their own personality, develop their own lifestyle, how to do stuff. Be supportive and be encouraging and let them make mistakes.
Thank you, Walter. Appreciate it.
What's the original question?
For the people that have kids, well, all of us have kids about over 18. What have they taught you that you realized after your kids turned 18? What thing that you realized that your kids taught you after they were 18? I'll go. Okay, go ahead. I didn't think you were ready.
Patience. So these kids aren't us. That's something that we have to realize. They're not us. They're not in the same era as we are. You know what I'm saying? Most of us were born in the 70s or 80s, and we grew up 80s, 90s, and there was a whole different way to go about things. And now these kids have had technology in their hands since they were born, So I guess the biggest thing is that they have taught me, and it's constantly being taught, and it's like, hey, this Wi-Fi is not working. Just come in here, and they'll come in. There you go, Dad. Now leave me the hell alone. And you're like, well, back in my day, we didn't have this. We didn't have no whippy. So their knowledge on certain stuff is definitely appreciated, but I still go old school. We're teaching them way more than they knew. We're teaching them game. We're teaching them how to balance checkbooks and shit like that and shit that they don't never know. Like, my kids have a zero savings account. They make money out the ass, and they have no money in their savings. They have no investments. They have no idea what it's going to be like to retire one day. But So I try to teach them more than they teach me, but I would say that they teach me technology.
Awesome. I'll go next. My kids have taught me that time goes really fucking fast, and when you thought you had enough time to teach them shit, they're already out the door before you could teach them the things that you thought you had time to teach them, and now they're out in the world. They're out in the world experiencing real life shit, and you still are in the process of teaching them. Still in the process of teaching them. My kids have also taught me that by the time that my oldest kids turn 18, that they don't know good music. They know some good music because I DJ'd and they paid attention to the Michael Jacksons and the Chris Browns and stuff.
That sounds like your fault.
Yeah, and movies. I did not let them watch movies that were like PG-13 or like, the don't drink what's the movie Menace to Society and don't drink your 40 after
Come on,
In
man.
Living Colors and stuff like that. I didn't let them watch In Living Color and Martin and all those kind of things, so they don't know about the good TV that was around when we grew up. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about the good music that was around when we grew up. So they are very sheltered in those things. So now I'm on the back burner thinking, shit, I should have let them watch the R-rated movie because they're going to find out about kissing and sex and all that kind of stuff anyway. I probably should have, showed them some of those things a little bit before they got to be adults. So now I'm trying to reverse time and now I'm thinking, oh shit, I need to text them and tell them, hey, there's this movie called, I know you've seen The Wizard of Oz, but there's a movie that starred Michael Jackson and some other celebrities that you probably should have paid attention to.
You never showed them The Wiz?
I have not showed them The Wiz. I forgot about it. I didn't think about it. But now it's on my list to tell them, hey, you got to watch The Wiz. Because I mean, they did see Family Matters and they did see the Sonic the Hedgehog TV show and those kind of things they're interested in. But because of YouTube, but I didn't show them that. So enough about me, Derek. What have you learned from your adult child that he taught you that you realized that he taught you?
I would say a lot of stuff that I've been putting down here. He taught me that he's listened or he's heard me in the past, even though he doesn't respond like he heard me. So I think that's one of the major things. He taught me that hey, I got you. I'm listening. I've always listened, even though I didn't react how you wanted me to. And not just that. Patience. I would definitely say patience, and just only because he's out there now, and because I had this idea in my mind, right? So everybody says, I wish I knew then what I know now. All right? Everybody says that. And I know that's going to happen to them. So what I started doing when they was about 8 or 9, I started having more conversations of you should know so you don't have to say this when you get older. But they told me that that's we want fun dad back. We don't want to just have all these lectures. So I modified it as half and half. But I tried to, because I was telling them that, hey, the kid, if I want to know it then, you are who's supposed to hear it. You are me when I was younger. I guess that's how it is. That's how life is. I'm really my son, and I'm giving myself this knowledge early, so I don't have to say it. So I think just that part alone, being able to reach back and give generational gems or just plant seeds and just seeing them grow now, just being patient with the growth and allow them, like you say, be who they want to be. I thought my kids should have been, millionaires at 16 because pushing them to be entrepreneurs, and then GameStop working. None against GameStop, right? But if he's just GameStop, earn money to buy. I pay for this, right? And uh, my standards was extremely too high, but he's showing me, hey, Dad, I can do this on my own. Uh, I'm getting my life together, and I want to do what I want to do. So whatever it is, I'm just supporting him. But I think I had too much of higher standards, so I'm being patient at this moment to see all these seeds I planted, just seeing them grow. Continue to water them, but just to see them grow, it's gonna be amazing.
And Danny, I know that you do not have a biological kid, but your kid you did raise from a baby up until 30 years old. So what did your son teach you when he got, and well, he's been an adult way longer than our kids have been adults, but what did he teach you? What did you learn from your son?
I learned that my way is not the only way. You know?
Your way is not the only way.
No, when you raise a to survive, there's certain moves that they're going to make that may be good for you, that may not work for them. You know, we have differences. Like, I'm an outside person. My son's an inside person. I may go outside. He hates life. You know what I'm saying? There's times I want to go outside, regardless if we like it or not. But that's his thing, is not being outside. So I'm pulling him out of his, trying to fit him into. That's just it doesn't work. But just because that's the way I see it didn't always work for him, and he wasn't as vocal about it because I wouldn't let him express stuff like that. So I learned about it when he got older. We sat down and we had these conversations now. So I learned that my way isn't the only way. It's ways to raise your kids and teach them things, but it doesn't have to be very specific to just the way you understand it. Because just because you have words, it's also about who you're talking to and how you perceive it. Communication is a two-way street. I see something, the man I am, my experiences in life, not necessarily mean that he's going to understand my views and my opinions of why I'm doing things. So I wish I would have listened to him a little more to guide him in his world and not try to make him fit in my world. So that's why I say my isn't the only one.
Awesome. All right. Well, gentlemen, go ahead.
The other thing is, I wish I would have taught him more to live in this world instead of protect it. But that hits on kind of things like you're saying. I don't let my kids do this because this might scare them. They're going to face that one day. And they're going to have to learn how to process that and deal with that. I don't want to talk to my kids about sex. They're going to deal with that one day. And they're going to have to learn and process that. And it's best to hear things from the parents, the ones that love you the most, that's there for you the most. Vice trying to protect you because we know what's really out there. We want to protect you so we don't tell you that. But we got to remember, they still going to experience it. That's why some kids grow up shooting guns. I had BB guns, 2, 3, 4 years old. My little one pump days, I was always taught how to interact with guns. So it's not a big thing to me. Like something that I talk to, it's a huge deal because they were taught to stay away from it. Not understanding you just got to know how to use it the right way. But it's a big deal to them because they're just now getting familiar with that, with something I've had in my own life. So sometimes we protect our kids from things, not thinking that one day they're going to cross that path and learn it anyway, that we should slowly find a way to incorporate that in their lives so it's not so brand new to them when they get out on their own.
I love it. Love it. Well, gentlemen, thank you all for your time on the podcast, man. Y'all did an incredible job. And we will chop it up. Any last words? Anybody got any last words before we get out of here?
Fuck them kids.
And I enjoyed y'all opinions, responses, the intakes, the laughters, everything, man. We definitely do it again.
Yeah, let's do
sure.
do it again.
Sounds
Dope conversation. Just respect from every in here. Not to mention that y'all, bring that's an extra bonus, right? I can always enjoy a good Devil Dog story, and just the walk. So I definitely think we should do it again, and you can do a foundation on the way.
Yep.
That's what's up. Appreciate y'all, gentlemen. Thank you. Salute. Simplify. Raw. All that good stuff.
Peace out.
All right. Peace.